Hi guys, today in this video we are going to create a full stack to-do app using Node, React, Express, MongoDB and so on. So this is going to be very exciting. So I will going to show you what we can do. We can add to-do from here. Let me add something. So like say buy milk, and I hit the add button and it's here. Buy milk is added in our to-do list. We can modify it using this icon and we can delete it using this icon. So let's try to delete it. And now it's deleted, as you can see. Now we can modify or update any to do. Like say I'm going to update this one, add me, and I'm going to write updated to do and then click update. And here you can see guys, this is updated as well. And this website is actually working on Netlify. I have hosted it on netlify.com, so it is not a local environment, it's a already deployed one I'm showing you. So this is the project we are going to build today. I hope you guys are excited. So let's get started. We are going to create it from scratch guys. So first of all we are going to create a folder called to do -app-yt, and then inside here I'm going to open a VS Code, and my VS Code is here, and I'm going to create a folder called backend, and inside backend I'm going to open terminal and browse to cd backend, and now I'm going to do npm init. Okay, and entry point server.js, and okay, and this looks okay. It has created package.json here, and we are going to add a start script, start node server.js. That's all. Now we are going to create inside the backend, we are going to create server.js file, and in here we are going to create our express server. So we are going to need some dependencies, like we need express, we need cors, we need .env, and we need mongos to connect to the MongoDB database. So I'm going to open the terminal once again, and then I'm going to do npm I express cors mongos .env. Like so. This is going to install these dependencies. While it's installing, we are going to do const express equals to require express, and const mongoose equals require mongoose, and we'll require our .env, require .env, and we will call .config method, and we will say const app equals to express and just evoke it, and we will take a variable for port, const port equals to process.env.port or 5000. Now we are going to connect to our MongoDB database. So first of all we are going to listen app.listen on port, and we are going to pass a callback function, and we can say log, we can say listening on port, just like this. Now let's save this and let's try to run it. npm start So it's saying listening on 5000. It's working so far. Now we're going to go to MongoDB website. So I will use my browser and type mongodb.com and sign in. And I'm going to sign in with Google, and I'm going to use Brave Coders account. And in here, if you have not created a cluster, just click on the create cluster button, and it is going to take a lot of time to create a cluster. And once it's done, you can click on the connect. So I will just click on the connect, and this is going to say add your we need to configure the user and add our IP address in the white listing. So we will go to database access, and in here we can say add database user. We will say password, and we can type user here. So I will type my name, and then password is MOQUT123. You guys can see this, and that's all. Just click on add user. User is added, and now we will go to network access, and in network access we will go add IP address, and in here we will click on allow access from anywhere and click confirm, and it's showing is in pending. And in the meantime, we will go back to the database, and we will go click on connect, and we will say connect to your application, and we will copy this string which is here. We will copy this and go back to VS Code, and we will create two files. First one is git ignore, and we will ignore our node modules folder. So I will say node modules like so, and then I will save it, and we will create .env, and we will write mongo URL, MongoDB URL like so, and I will paste this string, and inside this password I'm going to write my correct password. So just select this and type whatever your password is, and after this just write your application name. So I will just going to write Todo-app. This will be your database name which will be created on MongoDB server. So basically it's a database name, or you can say collection name, which will be created on the MongoDB server. So we have called it MongoDB URL, and we will save this one, and now we will go and connect to MongoDB. So we will use Mongoose, and I will say .connect. We will pass the URL process .env.mongo URL. That's it. After this we will say then, and we will pass a callback function which will say connected to MongoDB, and we will also have to catch if there's any error. We will catch it, error log error. That's it. We're going to save it, and let's open our console and let's clear this and npm start. Let's see what's going to happen this time. Listing on port 5000 connected to MongoDB. So we have successfully connected to our MongoDB database, guys. So this is it. Now we are going to create the routes and everything which we need. So for route, I'm not going to create route in this folder. I'm going to create route in a separate file because I want to keep our app clean. So for that, I'm going to create a folder inside backend. I'm going to create a folder called routes. And inside here I'm going to create to do route.js. And first of all we will say const router equals to require express. So we are just destructuring the router from the express package, and then we are going to say const router equals to router, like so. And then we can say router dot get. This will handle a get request, and for now we will say rec and res equals to, and we will say res dot send res dot json, and I will say message hi there, just like this. And now we will go to server.js, and inside here we will require our route const route. Oh, sorry, we need to export the route first. So module dot export equal to router. We are exporting this. Now in server.js we will do route equal to require routes slash to do route. Now we can say after connecting to MongoDB we will say app.use, and we will pass this route here. Now we will do one thing, we will use nodemon because we don't want to refresh our server after each of the file change. So nodemon will look for the file change. Whenever a file change occurs, it will automatically restart the server. So for that you have, if you don't have the nodemon installed, so then you can just write a command call npm i-g nodemon, just like this. If you run this command, it will install the nodemon globally in your computer. Since I already have installed, so I will just say nodemon and then file name server.js. That's it, and nodemon is running. We have connected to MongoDB database, looking good. Now if we will visit 5000, it should say yeah, hi there. So everything is working now. Our routes is working and our MongoDB connection is working. Everything is working, guys. So let's go back again, and so for this build we are first going to create the backend. So as you can see, the backend is actually going on. So I'm going to go into the backend and create a folder called controllers with an S. And inside controllers I'm going to do controller.js. And inside to do controller we need one thing, we need to define how our data is going to save in the database. So for this very project, this is a simple project, so we will have just a text field which will be a string. So we will just save that very text in our database. So for that we are going to create a model first, or you can say schema. So for schema I'm going to create a folder called models, and inside models I'm going to create a file called to do model.js. to do model.js. Okay, and inside here we will take mongoose and I will say const to do schema equals to new mongoose dot schema, and this is going to take an object, and this is going to simply text and it will be of type string. So I will just say type string, and it will be required property, required true. That's all. And now we just need to export this. Module.export equals to mongoose dot model, and we will name it to do and to do schema. So this is done. We have created our schema, or you can say we have created our model. Now we'll go back to do model, to do controller, and inside to do controller, first thing which we will do is we will require our model. So const to do model equals to require models slash to do model. And for saving our to do, first of all we need to get our to do. So we will just write module dot export dot get to do. This will be an async function since we are working with the database, rec and res, and this will take const to do await to do model dot find. This will give us all the to do from our database, and we will just send this as a response. Response dot send to do. This is it for getting our to do. So in our to do route we will remove this part, and we can just say get to do, and we will export it from our controllers. Of course, VS Code has automatically exported it for me. I don't have to do it on my own. So now in our controller we will create a bunch of more methods. So first, for saving a to do, so export dot save to do. For saving a to do, we are expecting a text from our body, so we will just destructure it. Text equals to rec dot body, request dot body, and we will take our to do model and we will call create function, create, and we will pass our text. We will say then data and callback function. We can write log added successfully, and we can log the data as well, what has been added. And finally with res.send we will send our data. Let's remove this one. So this should save the to do in our database. So let's try to save this. So how we are going to send this text to this route? Wait, we have not yet created the route as well. So I'm going to say router.get slash save, not get, it will be a post request, so post, and we will use save to do function. Save to do, again we are going to import it from our controller. So we are going to use postman for sending that very text which I was talking about. So we will use Postman. So let's open this. So route will be save, and inside body we will have a text, and I will write buy milk. And as soon as I'm going to do this send bus, but before that I'm going to go to the database and browse collection, and you can see there is 0 collection right now. So it should save the data. Let's open our console as well, because we will need it. So let's try to send this, and let's see what's going to happen. And we could not get a response. Okay, so we get some error. Let's try to resolve. Okay, it's saying request.body is undefined. I know what's going on. It's that issue which I was talking about. It's we will go back to our server, and we will say after this port thing, we will say app.use express.json. We have to say that's why this was not working. Express.json, and evoke it. While we are doing this, we will also do app.use, and we will use course, and of course we have to require course. Now let's try to send this again. Okay, it's saying user is not allowed to do action insert. So something is wrong with our user. So let's go and database access. We have not assigned it any role. Maybe that's why this was not working. We will assign it as admin and update our user. Now it should not do the error, I think. Let's go once again, and again we have app crash. Okay, so we are going to say node server.js. Okay, connected to MongoDB, and now we got this here, guys. This is working now. Let's go and check on the MongoDB quickly. I will go to database, and in browse collection we should have this data. Okay, here you can see buy milk. We have to do app, which is our database name, and then to do's, which is our collection name, and this is the item of our collection. So our insert function, or we can say save function, is working right now. So let's go continue with rest of the functions. Next one is for delete, or let's do for update first. So module dot export dot update to do. Rec and res, and in update we will have two things. From our body we will get two things. First one is id, and second one is text. Based on the id we are going to update our things in the database. Request dot body and we will say to do model dot find by id and update, and first argument will be id, and then second this will take an object what have to be updated, then res dot set 201 dot send updated successfully. That's it. Okay, and then we will do catch. We will catch if there's any error. No error. So our update one is ready, and let's see if we can delete it. Next one is for deleting. So I will just copy this one, and instead of update I will write delete to do. And for delete we will just take an ID from our request, and we will do find by ID and delete. This will take this ID, just the ID, and delete it successfully. So let's test this function out. So for that I'm going to go by X. I'm going to add a bunch of to-dos first. By ice. So we have good amount of to-dos now. If I can just show you guys. So we have 3 right now. Buy ice, buy egg, and buy milk. And I'm going to delete this buy eggs one. I will also show you on the MongoDB database. So if I can just refresh this, yeah, loading documents, and we have 3, and we are going to delete this by x1. So for delete we need to create the route first for deleting and updating. So I will copy this, and I will write update, and for update function it will be update to do, and for delete it will be delete to do. That's it. We can save now. Let's try to delete this time. So it will be a post request and slash delete, and this is going to take an underscore ID, and ID I have already copied this ID. Let's see what happened. And deleted successfully, guys. So let's check in our database. Let's refresh. Egg one should have been deleted. So we have buy milk and buy ice. We don't have this egg one. Now buy ice, I'm going to rename this ice to cake. So for that I'm going to take this ID. This is the ID here. I'm going to copy this one, and we're going to update. So we will do an update thing. Update. Now first of all ID is this. I don't know if I have pasted or not. So I'm just going to do once more. Yeah, I have pasted. Look like it. It looks like. Okay, so text equals to buy cake. Okay, so let's try. And it says updated successfully. Let's see in our database if buy ice is now buy cake or not. So it's now buy cake, guys. Our CRUD operation is working, means create, update, read, and delete is working right now. So our database is ready, our backend is ready. Now it's time to create the front end of the app. So for front end we will go in our folder and we will open CMD here. If you don't know, if you're on Windows, just click here and type CMD and it will launch the CMD in the same folder which you are currently right now. So we are going to create npx create react app, and app name will be front end. Just click enter. Oh, I misspelled it. It's create. Wait. Inside our VS Code we should see a folder. Yeah, and we'll close every file. So it's done, guys. I will cd into frontend, and inside frontend I'm going to do npm start. Okay, so React starter app is here. We are just going to do our things right now. So I'll go into the source folder and I'll delete logo.svg and index.css. Wait, not index.css, app.test and app.css. I'm going to delete these three things. So hit delete. Okay, now inside app we don't need this and we don't need any of this, just simple app. Inside index looks fine to me, and inside here we don't want to do this, and I will just quickly reset the css styling. Now let's see if it's working. Looks like it's working. Inside app we are going to create a container, so let me make some spacing. Inside this container we will have a h1 saying to do app like this, and we will have a top will hold the input, add to do is okay. Now let's see how it's looking. Okay, looking so good so far. We'll give some styling to our container. Max weight 600 pixel, margin should be auto. Okay, good. We'll take our h1 and margin top, one rem, text align center, and we'll take top, margin top, one rem, display flex and gap, one rem, justify content center, and we'll take our input, border none, outline none, width 400 pixel, padding 0.5 rem, border bottom 1 pixel, solid hash f. Oh, sorry. Yeah, let's try to see how it's looking now. Looking good. Looking okay. Now we will go in our app and we will take a div called add, and we will style this too. Just we will style this like this, and then we can see we have this our button here. Looking good. And now we will have list here, and inside list we will have component. We will create a component folder inside src. I'm going to create a folder called components, and we will have a to do component. And RAFCE. And if you guys don't know how I can easily do this, so you can just download an extension. It's called ES6, ES7, ES6, ES7, this one, ES7 plus React Redux. This one you can install, and it will give you a lot of snippets like RAFCE, RFCE for creating your function component. So I will just, you can just do RAFCE for creating a React arrow function component. Now I will just write dot to do dot text. We can just take text like this, and we will have icons. For icons we are going to use React icon, React icon package. So, and as a props we will receive text update mode and delete to do. Quickly open our terminal and cd dot, we are in the backend, cd, and then go to frontend, and inside here npm I react dash icons. React icons will give us this component bi-edit and bi.fill ai fill delete. It's just the icon, guys. This one is for edit and this one is for filling, and is we have attached a on click update mode on this one, which one is edit, and a delete for this one, which one is delete. Okay, so React icon is installed. So if I can just go here and I can take my to do component and pass a text. Hi, let's see if it's working. bi-edit is not defined. Of course we have to import it in our component. So to write like this, import bi-edit from React icons slash bi. Okay, this one is done. Slash ai. Now let's see. We have something else. We don't have styling, but we have the text and icon as well. So we are going to go back and style these things in the CSS. I'm not going to take too much time in styling, so I'm just copy pasting. So for to do, we have a position relative and margin top of one rem and background color of black and text color of white, and we have some padding and we have a border radius of 5 pixels. And then for icons we have absolute and then top 50% and transform translate y minus 50%. From right it will be 20 pixel, means it will be stick on the right, and it's a flex, and we have given it a gap of 0.5 rem. And for icons, for separate icon, we have given this pointer, cursor pointer, and font size of 20 pixel. So as soon as I'll save it, you can see, oh sorry, not here, yeah, you can see this looking good. If we add one more or two more, then let's see how it's look. Yeah, it's looking awesome. Now guys, we are going to go and fetch our data from our database, or we can say from our backend, and then display it in here. So for that we are going to use a package called Axios. So I'm going to install Axios, npm iaxios Axios. 。  . 。  . 。 . 。 . 。 . 。 . 。 . 。 . 。 . 。 . 。 . 。 . 。 . 。 . 。 。 . 。 。 . 。 。 . 。 。 。 . 。 。 。 。 。 . 。 。 . 。 . 。 . 。 . And inside our src we are going to create a folder called utils, and inside utils I'm going to create a file called handle api.js. So this file is going to handle our API. So first of all I'm going to import Axios from Axios. Looking good. Now we will have a base URL. For now it will be localhost colon 5000, and first function will have get all to do, and it's going to take something called set to do, which I'll show you in just a moment. Axios dot get base URL dot then we can destruct data like this, and we can say console.log data and set to do, pass it the data. So this is all we are doing, and we will export this by writing export and object get all to do, just like this. In our app we will go up and we will define const to do set to do equals to use state. We are going to use state hook from React, and it's going to auto import for me. Yeah, it's auto imported here. If your auto import is not working, kindly import it manually. First of all, it's an empty array default value, and inside here we can take to do dot map item and for each item we are going to return our to do component. Key equals to item dot underscore id and text equals to item dot underscore item dot text. Sorry. Now just close this like so, and we can remove this one. And now we will need use effect. It will also be imported from React, which you can see from here. Use effect, and this use effect will take a callback function and a dependency array, and it will do get all to do. It's imported from our handle API file, and I will just say set to do, pass this state setter to this function here. Now let's hope this works. Okay, so it's not working. Why not? Let's see. Okay, it's saying error in access. Maybe our server is not running our node server is not running, that's why it's not working. So let's run our server. So inside backend I will go to cmd and I will say node mon server. Now it's working. So we are getting our data from our backend. So now we need to create this add to do functionality and then modify functionality and then delete functionality. So it's not much, we can do it. Now we will implement add functionality. So for that we are going to go to this add button and I'm going to give it an on click, and on click we are going to call a function which we are going to create in our handle API. So we will call it const add to do and we will just export it like so. Add to do. Now we will go back here and we'll call add to do and import it from util/handle API. Okay, so in add to do we will need three things. First of all, the text which to be added, then set text. Set text is currently not defined, I'm going to define it, and then set to do for setting our to do. First of all, we will go in app and inside here I will write it like this way, and in value we will take a state const text set text equals to use state. Now inside value, in value we will say text, and on change we will basically binding our input. So we will take event dot target dot value, this will go inside set text. Let's see if this is working. Yes, it's working. Okay, so go back now. In handle API, this is our text which has to be updated inside the database, and this is set text. Set text is this one here, guys. See this, use state setter. This is the set text, and this set to do is coming from there, this set to do. Okay, now let's go and define this function quickly. So I'm going to do access dot post base URL slash save, and this text to be passed in the body request dot body, and then we will take data, and this we are just going to log it, log data, and we are going to do set text. We are inputting we are clearing the text field by this line, and then we are fetching all the to-dos including the new one. Get to do set to do. We are basically calling this function get to do by passing set to do which we receive from here. So this is it, and now we will go to the app, and inside app we can do what is inside here. We can do like this, an arrow function, and then we can pass all the necessary thing. First is text which we will get from text. Okay, second is set text. Set text is again set text, and third one is set to do. set to do. Okay, now this should work. Let's try and see if it's working. Okay, new to do. Okay, let's hit add, and boom guys, this is working now. New to do is added here. Now let's check if it's added in our database as well. So I will just refresh this. So yeah, new to do is added in our database as well. So our add function is working. Now let's work on the update function. For update function, we will take a state if it's updating or not. So I'll take const is updating, set is updating equals to use state, and the default value will be false. Okay, now based on updating, we need to change the text of this button. If we are updating, it should say update, and if we are adding, it should say add. So let's do this first. So we will go inside this button here, and we will just press enter, and we will start. We'll say is updating. If it's the case, then we will say update. If not, then we will say add, and we'll close our ternary operator. Okay, now same will be go for the on click function. So we will say is updating. If that's the case, we are going to call a function which will be update to do, and for now we are not passing any parameter. And if it's not the case, then we are calling our add to do function. Okay, this is it. Everything okay. Now what we need to do is we need to make this update to do function first of all, and also let's first define this update to do function inside our handle API. So in handle API, I'm going to copy this function, and I'm going to say update to do, and going to export this as well, and it's going to accept a lot of parameters. First one is to do ID. Based on this ID, we are going to update our to do. Then what to update? The new text which we will receive, this one. Then set to do, and then set text for clearing our text field, and then set is updating. Okay, we are going to do update and underscore ID is to do ID. Then we are going to do set text to blank if it's updated, and then set is updating to false. Then we are going to catch for any error. So catch error log error. We are not catching error here, so we are also going to add this line here as well. Catch error log error. Looks good. Okay, so now I'll go back to app.js, and inside here we are going to pass a lot of stuff. So first one is to do ID. So we are going to create a new state which will hold to do ID and set to do ID. So we will go up and add a new state. Okay, looks great. Now we are going to make it on multiple lines so that you guys can see clearly what is going on here. So if I can just split it like this, much better in my opinion. Okay, so first of all, to do id, then the text, then set to do, then set text, and finally is updating. Sorry, set is updating. Set is updating. Okay, now we are going to go inside here, and I will also make it in multiple line so that you guys can see what is going on here. So I will say update mode equals arrow function, and update mode, and this is going to take item dot underscore id and item dot item dot text. Okay, looks great. Now take this one and go up, and we are going to create a function called const update mode okay, and this is going to take two things. First of all, underscore id and then text. Okay, and it is going to take say set is updating to true, and then we are going to say set text to text, and then set to do id to underscore id. This is what we are doing, and we should be able to see. Okay, so update to do is not defined. Okay, no worries, we need to just import it from there. Update to do. Now this should work. Okay, wait, D is capital here, to do. Okay, now I am going to update this by cake one. So I will just click on this icon here, update, and instantly it's written the text content here by cake, and then this button is now update, and a by cake I'm going to write by a lot of cakes. And if I just hit update, and then it's updated, guys. As you can see, if I reload, then you can see it's also by update. And if I can just show you in the MongoDB, so yeah, by a lot of cake, by cake is gone now. So our update function is also working. Now the last one is the delete function, which we are going to implement on the click of this button. So if I click, nothing happens. We are just going to implement this delete one, and then this build will be over. So to create a delete functionality, we are going to go in handle API, and first of all create, copy this one, and then paste. Sorry, it's not copied correctly, I think. Copy and then paste. Okay, so I'm going to rename it to delete to do. Delete to do, and route will be delete, and this is only going to take this ID, and we are not doing anything. We will just do this here, and we will receive two things. First one is underscore ID, and second one is set to do. Okay, now export this one to, and now import this one here, delete to do, and in here we are going to go and say delete to do. Let's cross check the name. Yeah, it was delete to do in our to do.js file, so it's delete to do here also. Okay, this is going to take arrow function, and I'm going to say delete to do, and it's going to take item dot underscore id and set to do. Just two things. This should be working right now. Let's see. Yeah, delete to do is defined after post, and we are doing it on slash to slash delete and providing it an id, and if that id matches, then it's going to delete. If we are not doing anything with the data, we can log this if we want. Log data, and let's try to test our delete functionality. Okay, so to do id is not defined. Handle app.js. Okay, it's this thing here. We can just remove this. It's just taking this id. Okay, now it's gone. Now let's delete this buy a lot of cake, and this is gone, guys. This is gone. This is gone. So if we check out in our MongoDB database and refresh this, then you can see that we have only buy milk and buy a new to do. We don't have that buy a lot of cake one, because we have deleted that one. So our delete functionality is also working. So our add functionality is working, update functionality is working, delete functionality is working. So our all to do app is working right now. Now we are going to deploy this so that you guys can share with your friends. So for deploying, I am going to deploy it in two ways. I'm going to deploy backend at render.com, which you can see here. If I can just search render.com, so this is the site where we are going to deploy our Node.js backend, and we will deploy our frontend on Netlify. So Netlify, we are going to deploy our frontend here. So for deploying, we need to create the repository on our GitHub. So we will go to GitHub. So let's go, and in here we are going to create a repository, and I will name this full stack app dash dash backend dash yt dash backend. Okay, looks great. And now we are going to create this repository. Now we will select upload an existing file, and we will go to the backend folder and copy everything, exclude node modules and .env file. You don't want to share this on the GitHub. Okay, now we will go okay, so this is hosted right now. Now we will go to render.com. So this one is my old one, which I have deployed to show you guys earlier. Now we are going to deploy a new one. So I'll just go into new and then select web services, and inside web services we are going to just select the repository we want to install, this YT1. Okay, a few seconds ago. Now just click on connect, and we need to give it a name. So I like to give the same name so that we can easily recognize which project this one belongs to. Okay, so in the environment it will be node, just leave this empty, main branch, yeah. And inside the build command we will write npm install, and in the start script we will write npm start. Okay, looks okay. And now we will go to down and advanced, and in this we are going to add our environment variable, so which we can take from our backend. And inside env we have this mongo url, so we will just first copy this as a key, and then as a value we will copy this one here and paste it here. Okay, this enum variable is added. Now just click on create web service, and it's going to take a lot of time because it's a little bit slow. Render.com is slow. If you are using it for the free plan, then it's slow. This is the backend URL which it will create. So I will just copy this URL and I will go back to my app, and inside the handle API I will go in the top, and in the base URL we are going to change this from this to this. Okay, and now we will go to the GitHub again and create a new repository. This time I will write name like full stack. Instead of backend it will be frontend. And we will upload existing file, and we will go here, and inside the frontend folder I'm going to copy everything excluding node modules and .git ignore. Okay, I will just drag and drop it here. Let's see if render.com is still working. Yeah, generating containing image build, generating container image from build. Okay, this may take a few minutes. Okay, just okay, so it's here. Now we will go to Netlify, app.netlify, and I will just select this one, add new site, import from existing project, and I will select GitHub, and I will search for full stack frontend, YT frontend, this last one. This is it. Loading branches, deploy site, and our front end is also deploying. You can see the logs here, and render.com says build successful, deploying. Okay, good. Creating optimized production build. Okay, so our front end is ready now. We can go to this URL where is I can just go back. Okay, so this is it, and since our backend is not ready, so we are not seeing any data yet. Let's go to render.com. It's still deploying. It takes time, guys. As I said, it takes time, and even after deploying, render.com is going to take 20 minutes, up to 20 minutes to show your API, to spin up their server and show you a working API. Even after deploying, it takes 20 minutes. So you guys have to keep patience here. Do not rush things, just keep patience, and we are going to successfully deploy this very application. So guys, it's deployed right now, as you can see, listening on port 5000 as well as connected to MongoDB. So if you will go to this URL which is here, if you will visit this, you can see it's saying full stack Todo-app YT backend on render.com page could not be found. This is going to say like this for at least for next 20 minutes. You have to wait 20 minutes, and after that you will visit this web page and it will going to work. It will work it will work just fine. So all you have to do is wait at least 20 to 30 minutes and then come back to this page, and then this will work.